updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Kandace and Denise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are now being joined by Mr. Gary Griffith, the political leader of the National Transformation Alliance. Good morning and welcome to you.
Hi, good morning to you.
Now, we saw on election night you were quite pleased with the results. You said that now the NTA is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, well, what we have done, we've political map. You would have seen the pie chart done, and it shows the lots of yellow, a bit of red, and the blue. So those are the three colors. There's no orange. There's no other color. We are acquiring that 16,000 votes. If it is that we divided by the 31 seats that we took part in, that's roughly 500 votes per seat. Had we gone up for all 141, that would have been 70,000 votes. And in a local government, that's roughly 30% turnout. In a general election, it would be double. So that's going back at 140,000 in a general election, which equates with the Congress of the People. So it shows that that third constituency is still alive and kicking. And the National Transformation Alliance, we have now become the legitimate, bona fide, and the only recognized third or political party outside of the PNM and the UNC.
So after contesting these elections, what is the future looking like for the NTA?
Well, what we did, we went into the belly of the beast. Those were the 31 hardest seats. Those were the 31 safest seats that the PNM had. In 2019, the UNC being their main opponent, they lost every one of those seats outside of Point Fortin, the other 26 seats by 750 odd votes, sometimes over 2,500. So, in a local government election, that is a very high number. We were able to cut every single one to the point that some of those seats that they won by 1,000 votes, they were able, they scraped and held on by just about 100 plus. So it showed that we have cut deep inroads into PNM's heartland, which is critical because that is the corridor. Who wins the corridor wins the general election. So, and again, even looking at Tunapuna, Piarco, in those areas where, because of the NTA votes joining with the UNC votes, some of those seats became marginal. So it sets the tone well for us to take seats such as St. Joseph and Tunapuna in the general election. So we intend to continue to push along that line. We intend to put a lot of emphasis onto the youth vote, those persons between the ages of 16 to 40 who will be eligible to vote in 18 odd months' time. And those are the persons I think is going to become the pendulum to ensure whoever wins or wins in a comprehensive manner. So we intend to put a lot of emphasis on that. When I was Commissioner of Police, that was the main support I had, would have been younger persons. So we intend to also continue along that trajectory.
And what about the recounts that are happening right now? What can you share with us as to the status of some of those recounts?
Well, the main thing about those recounts is to let you all know, when I continue to state that the PNM had a PNM-B team. When you take orange, when you take red and you wash it several times, you get orange. That Progressive Employment Party by Philip Alexander, he spent 19 out of every 20 comments attacking me, attacking the NTA. You don't go into a national election attacking a political party that is not in government or opposition. So he went there with an agenda. And he did his job, mission accomplished. There were 7 of those seats that are being contested now that are marginal, and recounts are being asked. And it was, so for example, Point Fortin, Sangre Grande seats, 2 Indigo Martin at the UNC, lost 7 seats. And all 7 they lost. It would have been by a margin that is actually a little more or less than what the PEP had. So, for example, the PEP will get 80 votes somewhere and the PNM would have won by 50 votes. The PEP will get 40 votes, the PNM would have been successful by 20 votes. So the PEP did their job by taking away votes of anti-PNM supporters to ensure that the PNM could win. They did their job, and it is hoped that the country will understand that in the future, that party was there, set as an agenda to ensure that the UNC will not win several seats.
Mm-hmm. And then looking ahead with the partnership with the UNC, is this going to continue going into the general elections?
Yeah, definitely. You see, my concept of politics, unlike Philip Alexander, Keith Rowley, where they have spent all of their time in this campaign attacking, destroying, discrediting, undermining, demeaning, I intend to do just the opposite. My job is to build, to develop, to mend fences, build bridges, to try to find alliances. And by doing that, we are going to develop Trinidad and Tobago. political leaders spending all of their time attacking people, discrediting them, saying the nastiest things about the other. The country is fed up of that, and you would have probably seen it by the voter turnout. What we intend to do is to continue to work with other political parties, and obviously the UNC will be part of it. As I said before, every time that there's a coalition, the PNM could never win. And this was a perfect example. The PNM got 60,000 votes less than the alliance of the UNC and the NTA. I think that's the population of Tobago, roughly. So that says how much the PNM lost by. It was a comprehensive defeat. They are using it as 7-7, but that's because of our flawed system where places like Point Fortin, when you combine the 6 seats together, it will come up to probably less than 1 seat in certain seats that the UNC won. So really and truly, if it is that you break down the corporations in a proper manner, you can't have one group getting 190,000, another getting 130,000, and you're seeing it at 7-7. That is ridiculous. It's obviously that if it is that there should be 20 odd corporations, and it would have been more like 14-6, 13-7 to the UNC-NT alliance based on the number of votes. So again, the PNM structure of how they have destroyed our constitution using this first past the post and setting up corporations in such a way, and that's why you will see the map of Trinidad, it is 90% odd yellow and just a little bit of red. But that little bit of red, they break it into corporations of 7, where the other 7 corporations that the UNC was successful in, it was almost 2-1 and 3-1 in numbers. So all of those things must change. It is not going to fool the people. And for the general election, those numbers will actually transcend into more seats for the UNC and the NTA.
And what about some of the lessons that you may have learned from these elections? What is this teaching you going forward to make sure that the NTA, can be an even stronger force and reach the people more?
Definitely to explain to the public the importance of a coalition, to try to take away the hatred and the bitterness, for people to understand that other political parties working together can help build a country. The present system we have is one government, one individual alone as the prime minister. He alone calls the shots. So he dictates the selection of the president, the chief justice, the speaker of the house, the president of the senate, all state board members, all senators, indirectly independent senators, indirectly independent bodies, the chief of defense staff, the commissioner of police, the director of the SSA. That is, in other countries, that is known as dictatorship or police state. So we need to explain to persons the importance of voting for political parties that can ensure we have some degree of proper democracy by amending the constitution.
Now, we saw that the election only achieved about a 30% voter turnout. Are you disappointed with the amount of people that came out to the polls on Monday?
You know, a lot of people continue to criticize the country and the citizens based on the low voter turnout. But if you look at other countries, like, for example, the United States, their main election, which is to select the president, the voter turnout is on par with Trinidad and Tobago's general election to select a prime minister. And countries who have to equate with our local government election, the numbers are usually just about the same, 30 to 40%. So it's not surprising. The important thing, and in that 30 to 35%, is primarily the diehard base supporters of the PNM and the UNC. But yet still, the NTA proved to be a force to reckon with, not just by the 16,000 votes we acquired, but because there's such a big support of NTA's that third constituency in places like Sangre Grande. It ensured that the UNC swept Sangre Grande to make it now a safe corporation. San Fernando is another that caused the UNC, by getting the NTA voters to vote for the UNC candidates, that they were able to take a seat in San Fernando, and the PNM scraped to hold on to 5-4. The same thing with Arima, Tunapuna, Piaco, and Diego Martin, where several seats now because of the UNC and the NTA working together. So it showed that there was interest, but we have what we have to do. I'm going to spend more time on, as I said, is to get younger persons to understand the importance of voting and to understand the importance of selecting the right people to govern the country.
And what about the feeling in the party at this point in time? It's a couple of days after the elections. How are they? Are they revitalized? Are they encouraged? What are they feeling?
Well, definitely, we're in a good place. To have a political party that's less than a year old, and you have other parties such as the PDP, PEP, MSJ, who have been there sometimes for over a decade. and they were all swept aside. They all virtually lost every one of their deposits, and we didn't lose any of our deposits. In fact, we are going to get, I think we'll have an alderman in Diego Martin. We got 16,000 votes. We assisted the UNC in spreading their lead in Sangre Grande, to reducing the PNM strength in San Fernando, to turning to Arima and Piaco as virtual marginal marginal corporations similar to Diego Martin. We have done our job. We have done well. So the morale is high. They're highly motivated, and as I said, on that political map, it shows now that the NT has now set a foothold on the political map in Trinidad and Tobago.
And as we're getting ready to wrap up the conversation, what message do you have now for the people of Trinidad and Tobago?
That degree of hope, belief that politics doesn't necessarily have to be what we have seen of two other political leaders of the red and orange, attacking, destroying, discrediting. We intend to show a different type of politics in the very near future, a degree of hope, belief, trust, understanding, and getting to unify Trinidad and Tobago. And by us doing this, we are going to show to the country, do not vote based on blind loyalty, based on the political parties that have the right people, the policies, the programs, and the political will. It has been proven. We have the track record. The PNM could out-finance us. They can never outperform us. And that is what is going to be decided upon in that general election. People are going to vote based on performance, not based on the old talk, the banter, the catcher. And that is, the country is fed up of that, especially the young voters. And you're going to see the difference come 2025.
And we're certainly looking forward to see how the NTA evolves and grows as the time goes by, and see what you're going to do in 2025.
My pleasure. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Gary Griffith, the political leader of the National Transformation Alliance. Well, viewers, we are now at the end of our program this morning for what is quite an eventful week in Tobago. There's a whole lot that was said. Yeah, I mean, there's this information, this whole situation with that audio tape, the whistleblower coming out. Viewers, I hope that at some point in time, very soon, we can get back to focusing on governance issues here in Tobago. So we'll see what happens where that is concerned. We're definitely here at Tobago Updates. We've got our eyes on all that is happening. And as we're getting ready to wrap, I just want to wish you all a safe, happy, and wonderful day, and hope that we could see you again tomorrow. So bye for now. The energy fill the skies.